All right. Yellow mist in the sky on the horizon moving across the land. We see it puffing out of a massive iron creation, laying track and running towards Cinderline. The mist and smoke and fumes that it puts out spreads all across as we can see a little rattlesnake looking like it just is ready to devour a mouse of its own as the mist roils through. And as it becomes clear and leaves our sight, we see the mouse now having grown two large claws and teeth, holding the snake and ripping it to shreds. At the same time, we see folks crying who are at smaller outposts off the track of this for unknown things that move before this yellow form glowing stabs what seems to be a dagger formed of the mist. Regret, mutations, and all types of chaos come in the wake of the Iron Beast that makes its way towards Cinderline. A place of black sand. The town came by the river and made because of the essentia that comes down the water. The other post that it can find, and most importantly, the last place you can get water before you have a very, very long trek across the desert. And many of the sources that you'll find, besides Havilath, are corrupted. Even there, who knows who's pissed in that thing by the time it gets down to you or other means of things. So the people who are sitting in line are quite protective, one might say. And look suspiciously and curiously at the roar of dust and yellow smog that approaches their town. Now, Shepherd Pugh and Jake, you've been coming along here to Cinderline itself. You know that there's a good potential that on this creature that Bones had foresaw and had in a glimpse of might be more than you bargained for. And Shepard, you've come here before, and I think... How do you know how to get close to Cinderline in order to make sure the locals know that you're not going to harm or take anything from them?
I think there's two gates. There's one that's nearer to the water source that's a little more protected. And knowing that, I go to the other one and I shift out of whatever travel or beast form I'm in and make sure that my shawl is standing prominent so they recognize me as a shepherd long before we get there.
All right. And they see the two of you, and the sightings of the ghost are not uncommon. And some people have seen that as they see Jake and fella comes riding out on uh, what kind of appears to be this just enormous dragonfly. Seems like it can't quite get its hide, and you can see mutations that have come about it. It's rowdy, it kind of bucks him quite a bit, but again, something that moves above the ground and avoids some of the sharp stones is pretty good. As when he comes, it goes, Shepard! Well, can't believe we got somebody of the cloth right now. It looks towards the yellow, a smog approaching. You ever seen anything like that?
That particular color, no. But I think what's causing it, we're familiar with, yes.
Oh. Yeah. Got some communication that Baron was coming with his new line, and we started seeing that thing. Some guys the other day said they saw it laying the track. And kind of looks, we have no idea what to even think about what's coming for us. I mean, you really think there's going to be a straight line now up here?
I think it's going to be whatever Baron wants. And that may be straight through Cinderline.
Yeah. What some people are afraid of, that he's just going to go right to the water, start hauling out the river, or... Anyway, y'all best coming out of the dust and to make sure it was you. And we heard tale that the ghost was walking among the living. Looks down. Do you have a name?
I am Jake.
Jake. Well, it's good to put a name to the legend. We'll welcome you in Cinderline. Come on. And as he does, he hands both of you a fresh canteen.
I'll thank him. Do I know the name of this person? Seems like we're familiar with each other.
Yeah, I think this person, it was known as Riff. Generally just like kind of looks out for the town, more on the guard side. And kind of does stuff more like kind of deputy sheriff, more or less, I think.
Understood. I will fill Riff in on the mechanical dogs and cats that we fought and see if they've ran into any of that around here.
Yeah, we've seen those things. Nicknamed them devils. It's kind of funny. We always, people kind of saw you looking at Jake. It was always with wonderment or whatnot, but it just was with fear and almost sadness when we looked at them. You just could tell they weren't there to do anything good. Anyway.
No, they are not me. Though there is resemblance.
Yeah.
The color is important. And he looks at him with his very obvious and cerulean blue glowing eyes. And he goes, like this fog and smoke that's coming, the yellow is bad.
Yeah. We asked Baron when he was here if he had anything to do with it. He just said, if you don't want to die, don't get close. Asshole.
How long ago was this?
Oh. Well, I'll say it was about 3-4 days that he left, saying he was going to come back. And change and open our eyes to all types of wonderment, he said. Frankly, we just thought he was trying to get out of paying everybody for the work they'd put in getting them some Essentia. And, well, Old Lightning, he's come up with a way to, I guess, put some Essentia in his vodka, you could say. During his distilling process. And he was showing Baron that and made a big thing. And well, anyway, he left real quick after he got some of it. Said he'd be back. We kind of thought he was checking out a bill, but we'd rather be rid of the man. But then we saw the whatever that is that's coming.
You mind taking us to where Baron stays when he's here?
Looks at you. You wouldn't be wanting breaking and entering there, Shepherd, would you?
Well, enter the premises. I just want to take a look around.
Go ahead and give me your presence.
We still under the effects where the Hope is a D10?
Yeah, you would be.
Okay. $18 fear.
You up and down. Well. Alright. You're going to need to be careful either way. You see what I mean? And as you get close, there's some pathways that have been made that, of course, are covered with the black sand that is just everywhere around here. Houses built with long poles, trying to be as steady as they can. And mostly tents and things that are made to be readjusted. You can see where Baron stays before you even really get there. What looks like rocks that have no place in the environment ever being there. What actually looks like essential ore, bits of it in there. It could be refined and made, but it looks like Baron is designated to make it the foundation of his house. It's laws are audacious men. Most places around here don't want to get too high because of the wind, but yet you spent the money and had it reinforced. Right home away from home for stories when others got tents. But as you get close, you can see what the sheriff meant. There's a gate made of black metal. The tops pointed and sharpened. You swear you can see just a little bit of blue, as though they're tipped with essentia to ward off anyone who tried to come on over. But it's the sands around the house that shift. After a while, not in any pattern that's strictly natural or random of the wind or the ground below, but there are things that seem to be swimming underneath. you see what I mean, says Riff.
You ever see those things surface?
I saw a mouth round with teeth once, right as it was choking down a bird, about 3 feet in length before it went under. That's about it.
Well, Jake, what are you thinking?
Does Jake sense, because at this point he's so kind of keyed into all this, is you mentioned that the tips were, that there were these tips that were glowing blue, like the normal Essentia. Does Jake have sense at all yellow Essentia here?
It's on the air, like
Okay.
almost everything, but as far as nearby, being out, not so much. I would say go ahead and give me a knowledge roll, though,
Okay.
for this.
That's going to be a 12 with hope.
Trying to get a sense of it, but there's something about the people here. You've had been subjected to this and had fought your own trials when the town nearly burned down from the memory and the regret it had from the town actually burning quite a while years ago. But here, seems like with this blue Essentia and other that the people here are just brighter, a little bit more optimistic. And you get the sense that they have a little bit of a resistance to the effects of the smog. But how long that will last as the intensity and the density of it becomes greater, you don't know.
Jake would say, infiltration involves great risk. Unclear what we would be looking for. If Baron has Maker, I don't know if he would leave him here or if he would keep him close to himself.
It wouldn't make sense to keep something valuable like that near him. So then, shall we prep the town, get them ready for whatever's coming? Be ready for Baron when he shows.
Yeah, what's the plan?
Jake, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I just want to know what the plan is.
Yeah. So Jake is sort of pondering because Phil is rethinking. um,
Yeah,
part of difficulty is unclear precisely what Baron's plan is when he reaches town.
that was
So perhaps there is information to be had within his home. More details of his plan.
I'm willing to risk it at a later time if you are.
Longer we wait, closer Baron gets to being home.
True.
Now is perhaps best time. Those should give new friend, what is the term? Plausible deniability. So he'll turn to Riff and say, we have no desire to infiltrate. We will just spend time in town.
Good. Keep your nose clean, and you let me know if you need anything or something I could do to help. I know, Shepard, you ain't never been no fan of the ever-expanding ways and pushing the people out, so... It's like they want to make this whole place just one big employment job. Take the living right out of it. But, let us know if you want to help with anything.
Likewise.
Alright.
You need help putting up a fight. I can always go back to my old ways.
Yeah. Kind of grabs his hat and does a quick nod before making his way back to the outer wall on the watch posts.
I will, once Riff's walked away, I will approach the gate and kind of kneel like I am in the picture, and I will attempt to use nature's tongue and speak to whatever is swimming around the sands.
All right. Go ahead and give that spellcast roll.
That is a 15 hope.
Right. In that case, what's it look like for you to do this? You kneel down, put like your hand on the sand, you said?
Yeah, I think I would start tapping it, causing vibrations. And just wait till I see some movement. Then probably throw out probably have some dead vermin or something like that I keep on me as for bait or whatnot, and I just throw it out there.
Yeah. I mainly get the sense that the gate here goes down deep. As you see it rattle at first, there's a thing trying to get out to you, and as you throw the bait over, you really do see it. The ground opens, wide. You see the mouth at least your height in width. Open, and the sand begins to flow in with the things you had thrown. And it closes once more. And then it fully pierces the ground in front of you. Strange, almost steaming worm. You see its mouth and just a bit of its about 6 feet before its body moves into the sand. Then it surfaces a good 15 feet long. Where it came out, you can see a tunnel that it moved as it quickly kind of worms its way around before stopping close to the gate. Its mouth open, breath of rod. The gate shakes as it rams, calms, seems ready to cooperate with you.
Let's study it, looking for whatever it uses to sense the world around it, whether it has eyes, ears, a nose. Find out how best to communicate.
Until you get the sense that it mostly understands through the vibrations in the sand.
Begin to essentially attune myself to that. And I will communicate, one, that I'm not a threat, and two, that there may be further prey for it on the back of the house instead of where the gate's at.
You can feel other movement too, that it's not the only one. And then as it vibrates, you get the overwhelming scent of and a feeling of just a hunger. As you look carefully, you can see where it's thin in other places and then distended and round in others. Clear sign of malnutrition or starvation. This thing has been starved. And as you tell it where there might be food, it goes, but you can tell it's just wants to eat.
Make some type of roll, or would I know what its natural habitat is?
I'd say it's very clearly been made aberrative by the Essentia here. I think you get it likely just hunts. I think it hunts more through maybe where I think it would do well near the floating sands. This is a little bit too south for it. I think it's probably been brought down here. More near the Dust Sea.
Gotcha. As it moves away, I'll let Jake know if we want to try and go. Now would probably be the best time, but there's more than just one of those.
So is there... There's this area, there's a gate, and then there's an area before the building. And that's kind of the area where these worms are under.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long, how much distance is there between the gate and the building?
I'd say probably far away.
Okay. So we can't... Worms momentarily taken care of. Gate is still in the way. Can you get over the gate, friend Pew?
I will summon a bunch of beetles and stuff like that and have it fly over the gate to see if there's any reaction from that Essentia that was up top.
The ones that fly over, you don't see a reaction, but some of them kind of try to go through the bars or through the where the tips are, and there's this shock bolt of energy as they do. It kind of zaps and causes them to drop. But over does seem fairly safe. The good idea that you don't want to be touching it.
I could shift into a bird and fly over.
I can likely get myself through and potentially all the way to the house, but only one could go at a time through my doorway.
If you take care of yourself, I can take care of mine.
So Jake, so the arcane door, Jake can go a far distance with it. So, I mean, if it doesn't get him all the way to the house, it sounds like it would get him decently close to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll shift into a raven. And I will fly. I'll do a lap around the building first. And then return to the entrance where Jake is at.
Sounds good. You can see these things like making more tunnels, but they tend to be waiting for this kind of promised food or idea at the edge of the town.
So Jake will create his portal. I made the roll by a lot.
Okay.
So
That takes you far?
it can go a far distance. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
is what it says. Within far range that you can see.
Mm-hmm. All right. That gets you about halfway there.
Okay.
And did you take Pew with you, or is it just you?
I can only go. Only one person can go. So the idea is that I'll use the door. He flies over, and then
Right.
we meet at the door of the house. So yeah, he'll go through, and then he'll, as quickly and efficiently as he can, get up to the house while the things under the ground are distracted.
Right. And then Pew, you're trying to go above, flying over there?
Yes.
All right. Both of you give me agility rolls, please.
Agility. +2. That is a 15 with hope.
And then Shepard. You're muted if you're trying to talk.
No, I was setting up my beast form.
Okay, no worries. Sorry.
I got my actual stats. 20 fear.
All right. And Jake, after you teleport, are you then trying to run over there, Jake?
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't want to make a lot of noise, but he also doesn't want to stick around. So it's whatever that balancing act is of speed walking.
As you're moving across, and the sand almost begins to sink more, lets you come in and almost try to mold around you as you can feel the shift of the creatures come in. This hunt mode trying to make the sands unstable so that creatures would land and get buried to be picked off later. So it seems like these things are doing as they're coming at you. And as this happens, it's kind of disconcerting and messes you up a little bit. Either by experiencing or watching others do it. Go ahead and both mark stress, please.
Sure. This is why I never liked beaches. Always sink in the sand.
All right. What would you like to do to try to get by it?
Okay, so it is slowing me down. I can't even really walk through it. That's what.
Yeah, you're trying. Probably just need another action to maybe make it. Probably.
Okay. In that case, why don't I? Okay, so sinking in, doing that. So I'm going to try to describe this, but I'm thinking about climbing up sand dunes and what you do for that. So on a flat surface, I think he kind of starts to angle his body so that as he's pushing off, he's not pushing straight down.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually pushing at an angle. So it probably to do this properly, he kind of turns his body a bit. And then so he's almost walking sideways, and he leans his body forward so that all of the force he's asserting is sort of at that angle.
I like that. And Shepard, you're just floating above still, right? Flying.
Yeah.
All right. Sure, Dick. Then give me. I would say this kind of instinct trying to navigate this well.
Okay. Ooh, okay, that is a 20 with fear.
Okay. All right. In that case, as you leap, I'm going to give you advantage as the ground rumbles, as the sand beneath you starts to move. So advantage is an agility reaction.
Okay. So since I'm doing a D10 and a D12, what am I rolling twice?
So advantage is a D6. You
Oh,
add a
right.
D6.
It's just a D6 that's added. Right.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. And you said this was an agility?
Mm-hmm.
So I get to add 2 to this on top of that. That is 21, 26. That's a 28.
All right. You leap up on avoiding. It seems to be trying to like make you vulnerable, make you easy to catch,
Mhm.
and all that's left is for it to leap out after you. And you see it attempt to do so with a 13.
That is my evasion. So if it meets it, beats it, then that will be a hit.
All right. I will see if there's anything from Shepard here.
Not much I can do outside of I'll dive bomb it.
All right. I'd say you want to give me a strength or agility, see if you can just cause it, especially as we just met it. If you want to cause it to just miss, it's up to you.
Me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's going to be a 17 fear. Man,
Okay.
we're just racking fears up.
Yeah. All right. With that, you come down, knocking it just enough for it to. I like to give Jake a few more seconds to get right out and onto the porch of the house as it moves and the end of it comes up to swipe at you after it's been hit, and that's going to be a 16. Is that going to hit their pew?
And this is one of the things that I use Nature's Tongue on.
Yeah.
Then I have a 17 evasion against it, so just missed.
Ooh. How do you get out of the way?
So again, I dive bombed it, and then I will essentially barrel roll as it slaps me, and
Nice.
go with the.
Now rest in before the large wooden door. They swirl, and you kind of feel the vibrations get softer as the sand becomes calm once more as they wait. So now, what would y'all like to do?
Jake pauses and listens as it goes down and just says, "My guess, Jake would not fulfill your hunger. Not much meat." So we're in front of the doors to the house.
That's right.
Okay. Are there windows? Are there... Jake is actually, Jake is assuming the door is locked and he probably won't even bother trying. So Shepard wants to be wiser and try the door.
Yeah, so it's just like a dark oak door. The wood on the side, though painted, you can almost see it has been like reinforced with like iron plating.
Hmm.
And the windows do seem like they've been kind of latched from the inside, but are you can see through a little bit where the curtains are drawn. Left it.
I'm somewhat tempted to knock. Yeah, why not? I'll knock.
Jake will look confused, but he'll take a sitting position very politely.
As you knock and it kind of rings out, there doesn't seem to be an answer.
Worth a try. Now I'll try the door.
All right, it does appear to be locked.
This is quite the conundrum.
Just in case, Jake will cast reveal. He's gonna start trying to sense for magic, anything magically hidden. Which I don't know if that includes like traps, triggers, if they're magical, things like
Mhm.
that. So this is a
Uh, Roll.
spellcasting roll, which is only a 12, but it is with help. And the ability says if it's anything that roll would succeed against, it's revealed.
Yeah, I'd say you put that out and don't get any good sense of anything.
Right. So Jake will say, hard to focus, don't sense anything, but could be wrong.
I'm not very good with locks. I'm used to just barging in. Unless you got a better idea or a more subtle idea.
So the windows have been reinforced, but can we see inside them?
Yeah. Really, the windows mostly are not so much reinforced. The siding is. The windows mostly are just latched from the inside.
Gotcha. I mean, Jake will turn to Shepard and say, I could get us in. I can keep. I've been building hope. I can keep casting Arcane Door. And if I can see, it just says that you have to be able to see the point you're going to. So I could get us in. Take 2 castings of it.
Oh, you can get one of us in. The other could open the door or the window from the other side.
Ah. Friend Pew has opposable thumbs.
I do.
So we'll go ahead and Jake will cast Arcane Door.
All right.
That is a 15 with hope.
Okay. There's a bit of interference here, but with kind of put in some reserve power, you burn up more sensor than normal. You can make it work as you make the doors appear on both sides for this tunnel.
I will walk through.
All right. On the inside, it looks very immaculate. Very distinct and polished floors, beautiful hardwood. Some from different areas, it seems. Furniture that is handmade and looks like it took people a long time to get just right. Hand blown glass, and that seems to be add some of it custom, you think, to Radadestri himself. And just looks like a very wealthy household. You can see the windows and the latch, each kind of the latch you would push on, each one has been molded to look like some like a train, others like a shovel or drills, things to get, transport, use essentially.
Kind of growl and just say industry. And I'll open a window and pull Jake up.
Yeah. Jake, you're able to come right through. All right, in the house, what do you guys want to look for? What are you thinking of doing?
So I think since we are in here, Jake would like to keep his eye out in the event that, for whatever reason, he does keep, the maker here. But I think he really was thinking that any information about what the extent of Baron's like plans are, just to get a sense. He knows that we're going to have to take on this Colossus, so he figures any more information on it, what the plans are, where it's going to go, what it's supposed to do. So he's sort of open to any of that. I don't know what Shepard Pugh would like to look for.
Yeah, look for information as well. It's the big thing. And then, if there's any prisoners or anything of the sort, I would like to free them as well. But on top of that, I think with him being such a man of industry, Baron, and being in his house in a sketchy way, it's kind of bringing back some old memories of you. And I think I'm a little, I don't know what you would call it, but just act a little more younger and impetuous at this point. I'm just breaking random things and vandalizing the house.
I was about to say, Jake's gonna watch like, secondary objective, cause mischief. Understood.
Very nice. Okay, so I think Jake, what are you primarily trying to do? I think is it kind of a search for a maker or a search for information?
Yeah, I really. See, the problem is, I think he's torn. I think he really feels like he should be looking for the information, but he's a little on edge about the maker. So, hidden doors. Let's make it a little more specific and yet general, because either of the things he's looking for might be behind hidden doors. So that's what he's specifically looking for right now. Hidden doors, hidden panels.
Okay.
I would be looking for either the main office or workshop.
Okay. Then I think probably knowledge roll on Shepard, trying to like understand the thing of the house, and then I think instinct on Jake.
So our stats on the other person. That's fine.
So I'm going to, if you'll allow it, I think that part of what Jake is doing is slightly knocking against things. So if I can spend a hope, for one of my experiences is heightened hearing.
Okay.
So I will spend a hope to use that on the roll.
Good.
Which is a good thing I did, because that wasn't a great roll. 7. Yeah, that's only an 11, unfortunately, with hope, but still.
And for me, everything in this house is a nail and I'm a hammer. I rolled a 7 hope.
Where's Farla? Where's our rogue?
I know, breaking and entering. It's not quite what you're all ready for, I guess. All right. I think excuse me, sorry. You go in about, and it's hard. You're looking for anything, and from what you can tell, there was maybe a place where there was a desk, but it's been mostly kind of cleared out. Nothing of interest that you see here, and you've broken stuff, you've knocked things over, so he's definitely going to know somebody was here, and there are the marks. See, that could seem obvious from more of a simia or the unique scratches that Jake leaves behind. And as you kind of see, after like a good hour of moving, searching, there's just been nothing here. It's like kind of this mental exhaustion. So I will have you all mark your stress. So sitting here now in the midst of some broken glass and things turned over, what would you like to do?
Well, I took that stress, but I think I'm having a great time. So I will drink a minor stamina potion, and that's just me. I'm living it up right now. So I'm successful, and that's frustrating, but damn, this feels good.
Nice. Give it to the old habits.
Yeah. Let me think here.
All right. So I guess that's obvious. It's going to be
Yeah.
no someone's here. Depends. So you guys got to figure out what you want to try to do. I think.
Let's see.
I'll sit down in front of Jake, and I'm totally at a loss right now.
I mean, I so a little bit above table, Matt, because I'm trying to figure out what. It's obvious we've been failing our roles to find anything, so I don't know if if I don't necessarily want to sit here and keep being like, let me try this role in a different way to
Yeah.
find something. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe my thought would be what Jake would do is switch tactics and do what he's good at, which is search for Essentia and search for like concentrations of Essentia, because that's something he's good at. But I don't know if this is, just trying to like force another role for something that I've already failed at.
Well, yeah. I mean, Essentia is like at least a little bit of a different type of, I think, way to go about it. I would say, I think with this, if you guys are going to do stuff in the house still, consequence right now is like it's a mess, and that there's like evidence of you left behind. That will probably, that there's probably higher consequences should you like push further in it. But certainly, I could definitely understand the idea of like Essentia specifically here versus just kind of pushing around. Kind of is up to you.
Can I, so along that same lines, can I do what I'm good at and sense or track living things in the house?
Okay. Yeah, if you guys both want, I guess it sounds like basically instinct roll on each.
Okay. We'll burn the Essentia again to use burn the hope to use my peace.
All right, that's what I'm good at. 16 hope.
That's a 15 hope. So better, but still not great.
Indeed. I think as you kind of sniff, kind of try to get the air in Pew, there's sorry, everything's been clean. But there's kind of like this odd sense of body odor seeping up kind of almost through the floorboards. And Jake, I would say what you are able to sense is a bit of magic that seems to be worked by Essentia as you pay more careful attention to the floor. You can see where just in like somewhere there would be like nicks and maybe even knots within some of the wood that's been filled in, bits of essentia that seem to almost be made to extend whatever like look is within the wood over. And when you look closely, you see that it almost like the grain patterns repeat in this kind of roughly 8-foot section. And that's where you kind of follow the scent to as well there, Shepard.
Jake paws at it lightly.
Trapdoor?
Perhaps. Can we find edges? Jake will sort of hunt for edges. He'll use his mage hand to help him see if he can grip something to actually, if this is something that can be lifted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with that, you let your hands fall. You can see where it seems that some essentia was put here. It seems to be made a strange, like, illusion over it, and you find the edges, even though you cannot see them. And finally, there's this little latch that you're able to use this concert hand, Paul, to switch as it actually seems like it's supposed to pop it up. It is pushed or rolled back on like underneath the board, like it sinks for a second, and then moves to the side, revealing a iron ladder leading down into the dark.
Focusing on strengths, superior tactic to random mischief and destruction.
Had to do something to get us there. By the way, how are you with ladders?
Looks down at the ladder. Suboptimal. But I'll assume that he's dealt with ladders before.
It is up to you, yeah, I think.
It's right on my back. I can carry you down.
Okay. To say, like, maybe he can use the mage hand to, like, somehow steady himself, or he can just hitch a ride on Shepard.
I like it. So with that, you think, come on down. Is you just hitching a ride on Shepard as Shepard carries you down?
Pretty much at this point.
Climb down quite a few feet till you land on you can see what appears to be this kind of wooden passage about 5 feet wide. This wood that in some sense looks like it was almost grown with itself attuned to essentia. And you can see there's like a field, some type of magic force that is between the pillars of wood that seem to keep all the sands from just coming on in.
Can we pass through it?
As you kind of put your paw on it, it does seem that it's meant to keep you out. Like there's a tunnel, there's like a way you can travel,
Oh, okay.
but it's kind of like a mine where there's like pillars every so often, but there's been some
Oh.
potential worked in that create like this field where you think that's why the sand's not coming in.
Oh, this is what's keeping the tunnel intact. It's not.
Yes.
Sorry, misunderstood. Gotcha.
Yeah. And I'll just call to the elephant. I do apologize, guys. I get a few waves of tiredness, kind of
No worries.
unusual. I'm kind of just, so if I'm off, I do apologize.
No,
Not quite hitting
You're
it.
good.
But yeah, like that's what you kind of see in front of you here, and you can kind of see that also it's shifting as you imagine the huge things are around and know that something is here, and that scent wafts down the tunnel. You can hear like the movement of something or someone down here.
I think Jake would. His speculation's running rampant. I think that he would start becoming less cautious, and I think he's going to head down the tunnel.
I'll follow after.
Sure thing. You have a real good distance down the tunnel before it opens up into what appears to be this large workshop. There you can see there's some jars that contain what almost looks like just like little dust motes, tiny samples. Let's see, of an essentia that's red and another that's blue. In a fair amount of quantities, there's the yellow. Sorry, red and violet is what I meant to say. And then there's the yellow and the blue in higher quantities that are apart from the jars, more set out on the table to be actively studied. And in the midst of a few of these tables and a chalkboard and a slate board with notes, I think you can see, almost in a fetal position, the shaking form of the Maker.
Jake's tail starts wagging and then slows a little as he recognizes that the Maker doesn't look well, but he will rush forward to him.
It's kind of broken glasses or really cracked. And they kind of look as they almost recognize that there is movement towards them, but it's like their eyes don't quite process what they're seeing, as they just kind of say, the visitors. Good. More can understand, more can see. I'm not good at this. I shouldn't be one to look at this. I don't know why. I just don't understand.
Maker, it's Jake. And he will sort of sit down and almost use his nose to nudge him. It's Jake, Maker.
And they go ahead and give me a presence check, please.
Okay. There it is. Nothing on this. Oh. That is 10 with hope.
Nice. All right, so thank you. Nudge, and their eyes are distant. They try to settle on you. No, I told you. And it kind of yells up. I said, not that design. It can't be done again. It can't. Unique. Not meant to be repeated. You don't have what's needed anyway. No. And with that, they sorry, they go, no, you're just gonna have to start over. And they kind of like raise their hand here, and you see what almost looks like a human, like a more humanoid model, and you just hear a voice come from it and just says, "Defection to be recycled." And as that occurs, it opens up its hand, and a blast of so a multicolored essential ray comes towards Jake. Only for an 8.
Okay.
Boo. I mean, yay.
Is it?
Misses.
Oh, so you got the reflexes going. That's good. But I told you it's not. You can't make it again. There'll never be another one.
This whole time, Pew's kind of been sitting back. At first, I was more looking for a trap of any sort. Now I think I'm taking more of leaning in more into my role as a healer and recognizing that he's mentally or emotionally distraught. And so I would like to move Jake away, as he's definitely a source of upsetting it further.
Gotcha.
And then if I can, I would like to use my druid ability to remove stress.
Okay.
Do I feel like that would work or that would help him?
Oh, so that's what you're trying to do to them?
Yep. Like essentially, like I said, I kind of have a sense that he's suffering from stress, mental pain, that kind of stuff. And so like a normal heal wouldn't do anything, but stress may.
Yeah.
So can I add to this? Because what I was gonna have Jake do next is Jake also has the ability to relieve relieve a hit, to gain back a hit point or relieve a stress. So I think if Shepard came up and tried to move Jake away, Jake would insist on helping. So I don't know if we can do a team thing where we both do it.
Yeah, if you want to try to tag team, you could. So
Sure.
which one of you has 3 hope?
I have 3 hope. I'll spend it.
Okay, so Separate Tact is trying to talk him through it.
Yes. So
Okay. So give me presence, and then what's Jake trying to do in this again?
So Jake is using his mending touch, which he's used once before. It's literally he licks somebody,
Okay.
but it has can have a calming or a healing influence. And so I think he would, if he gets the sense this seems to be more of a mental thing, he would basically try to use it to almost calm.
Okay.
Like it might be almost a slight sedative nature.
So both of you can actually probably just do it with your spell casting, and then
Okay.
yeah, you can tag team and see what happens.
Cool.
So mine is a once per use kind of thing. There's no roll to it. Would I do this with like advantage or something for it? Or...
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say mine is the same. It actually costs hope. It costs 2 hope to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no roll. But I can just again roll with advantage if you want.
Yeah, I think like it's going to do something. This is like how much we're going to push through.
Cool.
I got an 18 hope.
That's a 17 with hope.
So we'll take the 18 hope.
Exactly. So if you both got it, so you both do get a hope. And as I think this happens, and both of you describe what it really looks like for your effects to take place, please.
I think for Jake, he sort of comes up and like a dog would lick somebody in the face, and instead what happens is it's just a very small little puff of a gas almost. That's just the idea is it goes right into their face basically, and is a mild sedative.
I will light some incense and walk around and sit cross-legged directly in front of the maker. Just try to get to a point where like our knees are touching.
Okay.
And I'll put my forehead to his. Just kind of walk him through, calming down, meditating, breathing.
He breathes, and you can see as all this, he breathes in the smoke and the kind of cadence and the kind of constant wonderment leaves here for a moment as he kind of puts his hand to stop the machine from trying to disassemble Jake. Right. Right. You're the one I made functional. Independence. Of course. And goes, I can't believe I've had to be here for so long. Kind of looks at Pew. It's been so long before I've seen the sky. I've had to make things. I've had to theories that don't make sense. That shouldn't make sense. Not good work. Kind of starts flipping through some notes.
Many not Jakes have run into many not Jakes.
Oh. Well, you did take. I saw the blueprints go missing, and he kind of looks at a ring that he has, and he goes, "And this went off." He went to the base. He took my knowledge. He took my research. I was supposed to be doing the research. He wasn't supposed to take it and make something else with it.
Yes. Home was. Someone was in home, took things.
No.
But he is not fully in control of the not Jakes. There is another presence. Speculation. Colossus. Biding their time for something.
Yeah. That was what the research suggested, that these different beings are almost like they're linked, or that we've shaped them over the course of time. Then, of course, people started waking them up early. Pieces of them, they're children.
Slow down. He said they're linked. Linked to what? You said early. They were always supposed to wake up at some time. And then do you know what their goal, what the motive is?
Motive. Yeah, I tried to understand. The best I could get is consume and collect. It's partially consuming Essentia, but also collecting and almost like ascending below. Kind of points to his nose where he just sort of says, Kudama in prison, question mark. What would you like to do?
Colossi are feeding Kudama to wake him up.
I mean, they're not consuming all of it. It's the output's wrong. The amount that they've been taking in, at least the first one and this one, it's way above what you actually need to do what they do. They must be collecting, or I don't even hear. I swear, the more there are pieces of it, of the yellow sentient, and what we were trying to do, it was like it wanted me gone. It wanted me to not know what was happening. I was getting frustrated all the most opportune times for them to kick me out.
Jake stands up on his paws and he looks at Shepard and says, "Time. We will have time to assess larger issue, immediate issue." And he'll turn back to Maker and say, Baron has made new body for second colossi. Maybe. Exact
New
nature,
body.
unsure. But it is coming imminently.
No,
Must get Maker out.
no, no. Is he making a path or valley or river or something one could travel on?
Train tracks.
Oh,
Making train tracks.
Towards the river.
no, it's not how it's supposed to work. That one's not supposed to travel. He's breaking the rules. That could have horrible consequences. He can't connect to the river. That's flows with pure essentia. If this thing connects, that could be disastrous.
Maker knows what yellow essentia does to people.
Yes, at first Baron invited me over to eat dinner and talk, and I made my theories and understood, and then I realized what he was trying to do. He was stealing and sending my reports to hacks who don't even understand how to know what they're doing. To syndicate, and when I said no more, you can't steal and take my plans and my research, he locked me down and just kept on asking questions, and I couldn't help myself. I had to answer them. You understand, right, Jake? Does Jake
Jake.
answer?
Yeah, Jake just slowly sort of. Jake nods and he says, Maker, always curious. Always what drove Maker. Jake, not certain if that's what drives Jake.
And looks kind of deep. You've done it. You created a new subroutine. Jake drives Jake. Do you have passions? Go ahead.
No, have him finish his line. What was going to say?
What?
What was he going to say?
He said that you will be able to have passions
Okay.
follow.
Yes. But Jake must admit it is often scary.
That's why sometimes you just have to be scarier.
Friend Shepard is good at being scary.
And he kind of looks at the two of you, and he almost that he gets that you don't fully understand. So he tries to starts drawing out like major places, including the river and Cinderline, and kind of puts a little bit of a type of map. He starts marking places. He goes Essentia Hub, and flows here and kind of marking it. And as he does, you can see as he draws lines that it actually seems to be like a type of symbol. As far as like the language, where it came from, it seems way far beyond what would be possible.
Jake will. I don't know if he's got a routine that lets him like take a mental image of that, so that he takes all that in.
Yeah. And as he draws it, you can see like it makes this pattern, and then he says he is taking Colossus here, and it's looking like it's actually crossing out part of the design.
Mm.
Or his machine, I guess he'd say. Take a machine here. If he's coming here, weaken containment. Sorry. I'm sorry. It something or someone designed this place to contain something else, something way below. Someone, a creature. It's here. These markings with their different intensities of Essentia maintain it. We've always harvested the overflow in the dry lands. Recently, with the increased production and what Baron's doing, we're going to go beyond just what the extra was from this thing and hurt the structure of the container. Do you understand?
Jake looks at Shepard. This what Shepard refers to as balance of nature.
Yes, but balance with an intent. Mentor told me of stories of a design meant to hold Kunamata Bay. I think this is what's being released.
And he kind of marks, you can tell the path of the other one that you all defeated. And you see it too as like seemingly traveling this way of crossing out parts of the symbol, corrupting or even changing it. He goes, the evidence is clear. Vestry is hurting them to create a type of ritual or spell. I think to link life forces or something to help them understand better, excel more.
Well, I'm not as smart as the two of you. I tend to do better actually seeing things at first hand. So we'll say you getting some sunshine. Us actually getting a look of the land.
He nods and grabs you. I'm sorry. Something is contained. He is breaking it. Baron is trying to break it.
He's trying, but we'll stop it. Or try.
Okay.
Grab what notes you need. We're getting out of here.
He made me help. I helped him. I didn't. So it kind of gets into it, but he starts packing it up a little bit. You can see there's bits of like plans you can see of kind of like the not Jakes in essence, but almost what looks like written in flaws, ways that he seems to make your hair try to seem to cause as much mischief as he could.
Mhm. Jake will actually. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Jake will, as he sees those again, he'll try to make mental notes of them if they present weaknesses and strategies for dealing with the not Jakes in the future, or if there is they have a strength in their sort of hive mind. Jake would be curious if there is almost a way to use that against them.
Hmm.
If there are flaws that have been built in.
Yeah. It seems that way with like some machines, like looks like the Notjix and a few of the other ones. I would say if you kind of find kind of these we'll call it the syndicate creations, the party can have a advantage against rolls made against them.
Okay, cool.
But not it seems that Colossus is something that the kind of Destry had made, like they're pieces of it, like the mind Essentia, but the actual thing was been made more elsewhere, so it wasn't really made by the Syndicate.
Gotcha.
Just this note.
Cool. Jake will help him pack things as much as he can.
He nods. Just goes, Baron thinks he's just mining. But something that got into him. Besides just Essentia fever. He's trying to play both sides, like herd and feed at least the Colossus it seems like he can find. All the while, he plans to do something worse and hurt the way that we've even been able to survive here. And as you kind of leave, you can hear now the hauling of metal. This thing that was made from what was left. Around now seems to be coming. And with that, any type of end scene anybody wants before we end?
Possibly. So, where will we be picking up at? Like, will we be outside the mansion or the manor or whatever?
Yeah, that can be that.
Okay. Then I think Shepard would find a way to free those things that are in the sands. And possible, like, put the fear of God in them from the Colossus and just the vibrations that it's making and drive him towards the floating sands or floating stones.
Gotcha. So the issue I'm trying to figure out, because if we make a roll on this and it's like a fail with fear, it's going into the town.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Shepard's risking that, or is he risking that?
Not right away. So yeah, we can hold off on that.
Okay. I think me too. I think the timing of that was interesting. I was like, oh, what's the consequence there? Okay.
I think at some point while they're leaving, because Jake has picked up, he hasn't said anything, but he's picked up on that Maker is feeling some amount of guilt, potentially a fair amount of guilt, because of how the role he feels he's played and everything. And I think at some point, maybe even out of earshot of Shepard and everything, he just sort of says, Maker, Jake has had to learn much while wandering alone. Jake has discovered failure of what Jake has determined he wants. It feels like a natural part of being alive and trying to follow one's goals.
Are you saying this to Maker?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Jake's friends, new friends, have stuck by him when he's felt like he has failed. Jake will not abandon Maker.
And he smiles as he puts his hand out and kind of rests on Jake's frame. I'm glad you found others to rely on as he looks at Shepard. I hoped you'd be able to find those to walk with. There's even a bigger you locked inside of what we're able to do. You're making your own pathways. And what's funny, Jake, is that people who usually walk with those who are doing that are trying to make their own paths too. I think you're helping him as much as he's helping you. I bet that's with all your friends. That's what being a full person is about.
Jake's tail wags a little bit.
Oh, and kind of this little moment where Tag wailing and Maker kind of goes with a hug. You can see now in the fog, looks like a long pipe emerges, lights and the sound of train whistles as more track is laid. And we're in there for tonight.
Dun dun dun.